All right, we're in for a treat today. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Reverend Jay Willock. Reverend Jay has been here before, and he always is this inspiration and uplifting. He's a New Thought guy. Is currently the arts minister at the Global Truth Center. I don't have that on my schedule. I'm just going by what you have here, so excuse me. One more song.
Reverend Maggie, I don't have it.
I didn't look up.
I don't have it on my schedule.
Okay, thank you.
So,
And I'm looking forward to this.
oh, really?
Okay.
Oh, my. No complaints and no regrets. I still believe in chasing dreams and placing bets. I've had to learn that all you give is all you get, so give it all you got. Somebody say amen. I've drank my share, Lord knows. I've had my fill, and even though I'm satisfied, Stephen, I'm hungry still to see what's down the road, beyond the hill, and do it all again. Here's to life and every joy it brings. I love my choir. Here's to life, to dreamers and their dreams. How the time just flies. Warm hellos can turn to sad goodbyes. And all the memories you've memorized keep your winters warm. There's no yes in yesterday, and who knows what tomorrow brings or takes away. As long as I am in this game, I want to play for life, for laughs, for love. Here's to life, and every joy it brings. Here's to life, to dreamers and their dreams. May all your storms be weather, and all that's good, even though it looks kind of shaky in there, gets better. Here's to life. Here's to love. Here's to you. May all your storms be weather, and all that's good get better. Here's to life. Here's to love. Children, here's to you.
Wow, another beautiful song. Thank you so much. See, I did that so the lead-in was perfect.
Perfect. See?
Let's start over, shall we? It's my pleasure to introduce to you Reverend Jay Willock, New Thought guy. Is currently at the Arts Minister at the Global New Thought Truth Center. He is in charge of producing plays, musicals, and concerts that forward the tenets of New Thought and the science of mind. He's very active as a center, and he has been on the Board of Trustees, a former administrator, one of the lead practitioners and youth ministers, or youth mentors, and has spoken at many Sunday and Wednesday services. Reverend Jay has years of experience in education and music as a professional singer and actor. He's recently working on 3 feature films. Wow. In events management, the self-improvement industry, writing and producing, and to teaching metaphysics, which has filled his toolbox with much love. He deeply values Ernest Holmes' tenets to be open at the top, fueling his mission to inspire others to allow the movement of new thought and ancient wisdom to inform and provoke all to live in their greatness, advancing the awareness of our birthright to love, enjoy, and prosper with, as, and through the divine. Wow. Oh, I just can't wait. All right. Well, Reverend Jay Willock.
Yeah, thank you. No. Wow, I did all that. Holy cow. So I don't want you to miss Reverend Steve too much. So the precipitation of God will be flowing down and going through. So thank you for having me be here. Hi, everybody. How are you? All good? All good? You're the test. He's the test. If he watches me, I'm good. I did a talk at a center who allows animals. So there a couple people had dogs, and when I noticed that the dog was staring at me as I was speaking, I thought, okay, I'm good. So first I want to talk about my talk title, because as I was looking at it earlier in the week, I realized people might interpret incorrectly what I meant, and that it looks like I'm saying, live, it's you. But that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, live, it's you. Thank you. And the reason I say that is I want us to talk about today. Well, I'm going to talk. You're going to listen. I want us to talk about today how, you know, in the airplane, they always say to put the oxygen mask over your face before you put it on your child's or whoever's sitting next to you that may not be able to reach up and grab that. Well, that's what I think life's all about. I think we have to make sure that we take care of ourselves first. Even if we have a child, or even if we have a loved one that we take care of, even if we have a business, a multi-million-dollar business that we take care of, we have to take care of ourselves first, or we're being short shrift to those people or those organizations that we're taking care of. Thomas Troward said that we must make a proper identification of ourselves. That is the first thing that we need to do. So we're going to do that. We're going to talk about that today. So you're it. The identification is you're it. You are the thing you get to work with here and now, live and in color. There's nobody else. There's nothing else. I don't care if you have children. I don't care if you have parents that you take care of, or again, like I said, a business you take care of. It's all about you. Ernest Holmes said in his book, This Thing Called You, if you haven't read This Thing Called You, go get it now. It is probably the most fabulous book you've ever read. It takes that 8,000-page Science of Mind book and puts it in about 130, 150 pages, and then you're on. He said, you are already a spiritual being living in a spiritual universe, governed by spiritual laws and having a human experience. That's it. You're a spiritual being, living in a spiritual universe, having a spiritual experience. You're also having a human experience as well as a spiritual experience. But what's our purpose? What's our purpose in life? Well, that's easy. Our purpose in life, and some of this comes from Thomas Troward. Everybody know about Thomas Troward? Thomas Troward, for those who don't know, is about 70-ish% of the science of mind. He was a judge in the mid-late 1800s, a British judge in India, and when he retired from being a judge, he decided to go and paint and write philosophy for his retirement. And he wrote about the kind of stuff that we love and the kind of stuff that ended up in the science of mind. And if you're like a very practical black and white, you like it person, you will love Troward. Well, Troward's one who said, basically, our purpose in life is to be happy. That's it. That's it. Thrive and be happy. So that's all you need to do is thrive and be happy. Boom, there it is. There's the secret of life. Thank you so much. So go out and thrive and be happy. No, I see it. I see it in your eyes. But how? How am I going to do that, Rev J? How? Okay. Now we'll talk about that. Because you expect me to have the answers on how you're going to do this thriving and happying kind of stuff. Well, fortunately, I don't have to give you the answers because I have a bunch of suggestions that you've mostly heard already, but I'm going to remind them to you, and then you'll be able to go out and thrive and be happy. Okay, here's the first one. This is from Joseph Campbell. We all like Joseph Campbell. And the mythology. He says, follow your bliss and the universe will open doors for you where there were only walls. Okay, got that? Follow your bliss and doors will open, the walls will part like for Moses, and all will be good. That's not enough. Okay, number two. Number two comes from Steve Jobs. So here's one that's a little more recent. And, you know, he was a very successful guy. He said, the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. So look under your chair. Look over here, maybe behind here. If you haven't found it yet, it could be there. And don't settle. I don't care what you're doing for work. Don't settle. That's not helpful. I see that in your eyes. Okay. Oh, here's a good one. Follow your passion and the money will follow. How many people are doing that, huh? There's one. Follow your passion. There's a couple. Great. The rest of you? No. Okay, here's a Chinese proverb. This has been good for thousands of years. Do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. Musicians know all about do what you love. And you never work a day in your life. I see a lot of people in life not working, so they must be doing what they love. Because I'm always handing them money. John Burroughs says, oh, here's a good one. So now you found your passion, you're doing what you love. So as John Burroughs says, leap, and the net will appear. Anybody done that lately? Just leap, and the net will appear. Or as Shirley MacLaine said in the 90s, 80s, go out on a limb. There's your secrets to life. Go on a limb. Here's the answers. Find your passion, follow your bliss, then leap. So there it is. You've got your what, your spiritual being, doing spiritual universe with the human thing, and okay, that's who you are. That's what you are. Your purpose is to thrive and be happy. And the how, I just gave you a bunch of hows by, you know, people more well-known than me. So there you go. Now you got it. Vamos. Have at it. Go thrive and be happy. Nobody's running. Nobody's getting up. I know, I hear it. But what about the risk? Oh, it's so risky out there, Rev J. What am I going to do about the risk? I'm scared. I'm scared. Well, first of all, I want to tell you that I am not advocating that you quit your job to follow your passion, that you're going to quit your job because you're not going to settle, because I am not telling you to do something impractical unless you have a plan or some sort of income stream. Then go ahead, quit your job, follow your passion. Right? Musician? No, I'm not telling you to do that. But I do want to tell you this. I want to remind you that we are in a philosophy of self-reliance. I just got finished teaching Ralph Waldo Emerson 7 or 8 of his essays. His most famous essay, and probably the greatest essay, but not necessarily, is self-reliance. And in it he says, to believe your own thought, to believe that what is true for you in your private heart, that's important, is true for all mankind. He says men, but he wrote that in the 1800s. That is genius. Speak your latent conviction, and it shall be the universal sense, for the inmost in due time becomes the outmost. Right? So what are you hearing from your heart? What are you hearing from what you believe? Now, for those of you who've heard me speak before, you've probably heard that my triune nature of life, of the universe, is not necessarily the one we're taught in foundations. My triune nature has to do with intelligence, logic, the mind, that brain thing where the mind seems to use as a tool, the heart, which has its own brain, its own intelligence, and then what we call the gut, but intuition. Because true intuition comes from the divine. So, what are you hearing from your heart? You know, in the Declaration of Principles, the first thing we say is we believe in God, the living Spirit, Almighty, one indestructible, absolute, self-existent cause. And the second thing we say is the kingdom of heaven, or the kingdom of God, or the kingdom of the divine, whatever word you like to use, the kingdom of Phil, lies in each and every one of us right here, right now. We believe that life begins here. Here. Not so much here. Getting a lot of trouble up here, yes? But here. There's really no ending, you know. It always continues. We're always on a journey. We're always on an adventure. And we have to remember that we are the fertilizer as well as the seed. We're the artist as well as the art. And most importantly, we are the plumber as well as the pipe. We're the creators, and sometimes we create fear, and sometimes we create lack, and sometimes we just buy into something that is described or prescribed to us, and we live through it and as it. Now let me go back to Emerson. To believe your own thought, to believe that what is true for you in your private heart is true for all mankind, all people, that is genius. But it's not always smart. And let me explain why. Because sometimes we don't really dig into what's going on in our own heart. Like I said before, we buy into what has been described to us or what has been prescribed to us by our upbringing, whatever school we might have attended, what we listen to and believe and buy into at the water cooler. Does anybody still have a water cooler at work? What we listen to and decide is true on the media, from the media. All those things start coming in. And if we decide that's what's true, those fact things, if that's what's true, then that's what we live by. That's what we decide we're supposed to heed. Mom and dad, the media, the gossip, the negative, the fearful, the unethical. We buy into many things that are unethical because you hear it often enough, it seems to be true.
Be careful,
Yes. No politics on the pulpit. Emerson is telling us that our personal intuition, what we feel in our gut, so to speak, is the true wisdom. That listening to all this other stuff is actually cowardly. You'll know deep in your heart, you'll know in meditation, you know when you're sitting here in a sacred space what is really true. Not those facts. The facts will take care of themselves. What is true in your heart about you and about your life. Not what you were told, not what you were taught. Not even sometimes what you hear here. But what is true in your heart. That's what you need to rely on. We are each born with this genius. You don't have to go to school for it. You don't have to go to church for it, or synagogue or mosque or anything else. You don't have to watch the right TV shows. It's your birthright. It is here right now. And there is a law of cause and effect, of course. We all learn about that. In this thing called you, Dr. Holmes wrote, what the law does for you, it must do through you. Through you. So it comes down to belief. What's your belief? What's your belief about life? What's your belief about your life? What's your belief about your profession? Is it a difficult profession? Did everybody tell you it's a difficult profession and you're buying into it? Then guess what? It's a difficult profession. And it'll be difficult making money in that profession or thriving in that profession as far as practicalities and paying your bills. I know that part of one of my professions is being an actor, as you heard. So many actors out there who they start out their careers buying into, I'm in a difficult career, nobody makes a lot of money, there's 10 people who make enough money to make a living off of that. And what happens to them? 5 years later, they're out of the profession. And then they go into something that does not feed their soul. And that happens in all professions. It happens in the business world. It's our belief. The law does for you, it must do through you. Comes down belief. We have will, we have volition, we have choices that we can make through our thoughts and feelings. We have control over that. I know sometimes it doesn't feel like we have control over our thoughts and feelings. I totally get it. I've been in whirlwinds, chaotic stuff going through my head, and I have to stop myself and say, stop. Stop thinking that stupid stuff. Is that true? No. I bought into it. Belief. And we can use our will, not our willpower. Let me talk about that a little different, the difference between that. Our will versus our willpower. Our willpower, I know that word power is used a lot in a positive sense, but willpower seems to have a stress to it. A push. I got to push it. Not in this philosophy. I don't know about other philosophies, but our will, our decision, our knowing that we are backed by the law of cause and effect, we are backed by a divinity that says, yeah, what do you want? I'm here, listen, I'm listening, what do you want? Okay, you got it. Let me work. No, I do the how. Let me work on it. Do you believe that this is going to come into your life? Have you decided this is going to come into your life? Do you have gratitude knowing, just like I gave you a present and you say thank you? Do you have gratitude knowing this is going to be in your life? Great, thanks. I'll be right back. That's the law. That's what the law does. Depends what you are willing to believe. Do you believe in your power? Do you believe in infinite possibilities? Or do you believe that there's only so much? People in Simi Valley, you only get so much. Because the people in Beverly Hills, they're keeping all that. They're not going to give it to you. That's BS. That is BS in your BS. Do you know what I mean? That's the little BS in your belief system. Earlier, I reminded you to do these following things. A, find your passion. Now, there's a great quote from Henry David Thoreau. He says, know your bone, gnaw at it, bury it, unearth it, and then gnaw it still. I love that. Within and backed by the knowing of what and who you are, you get to step into a reality check and figure out what your bone is. Bone could be your passion. What your passion is what most people will use in terms of the bone. And in the gnawing, burying, unearthing, and re-gnawing at it again, you get to study, learn, practice, and gain the confidence and joy of the journey, the never-ending, infinite possibilities of your passion. So, okay, we got that? That's the first step. Find your passion. That is now called the bone. Gnaw at it. Put it aside. Look at it. Maybe bury it, pick it up again, gnaw at it some more, and learn and absorb it. And know that not only do you have this passion in you, in your heart, that your heart is filled by this passion, but you are confident in your knowledge of it, in your ability to use it, even though that will infinitely grow. Okay? So we got our passion. Next, follow your bliss. Take the confidence and knowledge of your passion, okay? So we got the passion. We've played with it. We've taken lessons. We've gone to school and learned about accounting. We know the difference between this copper pipe and a steel pipe and a plastic PVC pipe and what the difference is and where they can be used. We know how to move our fingers. We know how to use the calculator or the QuickBooks. We know how to put the threads in a pipe if we have to. We know the ins and outs of this passion. So now we need to learn to apply it. Joseph Campbell again. If you do follow your bliss, you put yourself on a kind of track that has been there all the while, waiting for you. And the life that you ought to be living is the one you are living. When you can see that, you begin to meet people who are in your field of bliss, and they open doors for you. I say follow your bliss and don't be afraid, and doors will open where you didn't know they were going to be. So, thank you. So you got your bliss, you've gnawed on it, you figured it out, you become proficient, knowing that there's more to be proficient. It never ends. Don't get cocky. It never ends, which is exciting. Why would you want to even, how could you be passionate about something that you know everything about? That sounds boring to me. I want to know more. I want to learn more. You know, I didn't go through whatever 7 years of ministerial training and all that. I want to know more, so I read other people's stuff. And I go, oh, I remember that, or, oh, that's new, and I can add that in my toolbox. Just because I did 7 years, just because I got this little card that says I'm an ordained minister and they never can take that away from me, that doesn't mean I don't stop learning. Because how can we be of service to not only ourselves but everyone else if we're not constantly moving forward? Dr. Holmes said, if you are using the Science of Mind book 100 years from now as the only thing you read, you did not get what I talked about. Some people don't like to hear that. They think that's like sacrilege, but he said that. I can't tell you where. I don't know if it was in the Beverly Hills lectures or where, but he said that. We got to keep moving, and that applies to every profession and every passion that you have. Third, C, leap. Now you're ready to leap. You found your passion, you've gnawed on it, you've learned, you are confident at it, you know that the law of cause and effect and this divine intelligence that is within each and every one of us is totally supporting you. So now you can follow your bliss, and in the following of your bliss, oh my God, you start talking to the guy next to you that you barely talk to. It's just a hi, yeah, nice to see you. How's the family? Great. And one day you turn and go, so what do you do? Well, I work at Disney. And you do? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I work at Disney. We're looking for somebody right now, an illustrator. We're having the hardest time. It's really strange to find an illustrator. Well, that's interesting. I'm an illustrator. Boom. They show up. I'm not making this up. That's happened. That little story happened because somebody told me about that. And it happens all the time. The people show up because you're attracting them, because you are in your passion, and you are confident in your passion, and you are living your bliss. Now you can take the leap. Now you still have the chance to encounter every dragon that's still living in your... But boy, are you, like we were talking about earlier, you're prayed up, man. So when those dragons show up, and they're going to show up, and that's okay, you know, the dark side's going to show up. The shadow is going to show up because it's there, not as an entity. Let's remember this. It's not as an entity. It's just junk you accepted that's been whirling around in its head. And as you've done other things, it kind of got pushed back. And then in your fear somewhere, it opens up a little window, and out comes this shadow side, and it says, oh yeah? Oh yeah, you're passionate, you're bliss, things are happening, you're getting connections, you're ready to take the leap. You know what? You're 55 years old.
You better preach.
That shadow comes and says, you're 55 years old. Who the heck do you think you are? Getting a new profession, going back to school. You think you're all great because now you're a therapist and you got this degree and you're going out and you're helping people. You're 55 years old. That ever come up for people? Yeah, good. Those kind of things come up from the darkest caverns of your mind that want to keep your life small and safe. But what you will do with this that will show up, and it probably will show up, not necessarily, but it probably will show up, has to do with now your new perspective, your new attitude, your new confidence, and the belief, because I've reminded you, and now you're going to soak it in and take it home, that you are always backed by the love of the universe and the universal mind that always wants you to what? Thrive and be happy. That's all the universe wants for you. Because how could we think of anything else? Because in this philosophy, what is one of the basic things we learn? We are individualizations of God. Do you think God wants a lousy experience? So don't have a lousy experience, at the very least out of respect for poor God. Poor God. In the Science of Mind book, Ernest Holmes says, it is a beautiful and true thought to realize that every person stands in the shadow of a mighty mind, a pure intelligence, and a divine givingness. The farmer has seen the heavenly host in the fields. The child has frolicked with it at play. The mother has clasped it to her breast, and the fond lover has seen it in the eyes of their beloved. We look too far away for reality. It's right here. You're the farmer, you're the child, you're the lover, you're the mother. Your reality must lie in the consciousness and power of your divine self, equipped as you are with the greatest tools of choice and of willingness and of being in control, having volition with your thoughts and feelings, and knowing that if there's some negative thoughts and feelings, it happens, big deal. That you have the power to heal them And if not, you go to a practitioner who will assist you in knowing the truth so that you can heal them. You know that, don't you? You go to a practitioner, you go to a minister, they're not going boopity pop boo, you're healed. It doesn't work that way. You're healing you. They're assisting you by knowing the truth, which is very powerful, but the true power is in your mind, in your heart. Rumi said, "You were born with potential. You were born with goodness and trust. You were born with ideals and dreams. You were born with greatness. You were born with wings. You are not meant for crawling, so don't. You have wings. Learn to use them and fly. Take a blissful walk. Sail the vessel of your passion to the precipice of confidence and belief, then take the leap. Ride the rapids. Dance with the wings of love and law." That's what this philosophy is about. Love and law, the love of the divine for you, as you, through you, and the law that says everything that you believe shows up as you desire. And when you land, step onto the shore, listen. Stop and listen for a moment. Because the universe is calling. And it is saying, live, it's you. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I'm not going to sing a ballad, but although I could. Here's the box. So you all know what this is, right? Did I hear no? That's okay. This is the healing, what do you exactly call it? The prayer box, okay. Everybody calls it something a little different. This is the prayer box. This is the healing box. This is the box where you've decided something you've written down that you don't want in your life. It doesn't serve you anymore. It is in your way. Something in your head or whatever is not allowing you to really push it out of your life. Write it down, put it in there, is one way you can heal it. And what will happen, I'm going to do a little prayer here with it, for it, as it, through it. But what will happen afterwards is the practitioners will take these and anything else that kind of happens in the air as we go through our affirmative prayer together. And they will pray on this. They will know the truth on it, for you, with you. And to the degree that you are willing to be healed, it's done. Okay? I want you to understand that. Even if you didn't feel comfortable about writing it down and putting into this box, know it in your heart right now. What doesn't serve you anymore, what you're ready to get rid of, know it in your heart right now. It doesn't have to be written down. There's no rule. But know in your heart, because it's as the same as these that are written down, we're going to heal them. You ready to be healed? You ready to get to step into your true self, your God self, your highest self? Let's do that together. Take a deep breath. If it is comfortable for you, you can do a little tinkle tinkle for me. Oh, that's nice. Thank you. Take a deep breath one more time. Mostly because I need one. And out. Do you know this one? Every time you take a deep breath, God is. And every time you exhale, I am. Remember that. I still do it all the time. God is. I am. It centers me. It centers me in knowing that there is one power, one mind, one divine intelligence. And this fantastic, creative energy, vibration, illumination, the Big Bang lives in each and every one of us right here, right now. It lives within me, within you, empowering each and every one of us to our greatest good. So I'm knowing right now that everything that is in this box is revealed as untrue. Oh yes, they may be facts, not ignoring that they may be facts. But what I know is that they're untrue. Because each and every one of us are evolved by vibrating at the energy, the power of the divine, which knows only perfect, whole, and complete life. Not just in a spiritual world, but here, right now, in this 3D technology world we call life. That our bodies are flowing at perfect rates. The heart, the lungs, all the organs are at optimal levels, doing what they do, nourishing our bodies, releasing toxins, whatever they do, they are doing in the perfect whole and completeness that is of the divine right that we are. In our pocketbooks, there is prosperity and abundance that allows us to be comfortable and at ease, paying all our bills easily and on time, having fun, joyously giving to this center, joyously giving and contributing to other organizations and people, buying gifts and expressing their love. We also know this in our creative output. Whatever that passion is that you have or are about to have, each and every one of us are in that passion, knowing that our divine right is to live that passion, to be in the bliss and feed our soul through that passion. And in our relationships, both romantic and non-romantic, there's deep love. There's that same perfect, whole, and complete deep love that the divine has for each and every one of us. We know that all this is here and now for each and every one of us, whether we have put a card in this box or not. We have accepted our divine right, and we reveal it now in our lives, in every part of our lives, no matter what. No matter what. I accept this revealing. I accept this declaration, knowing that my word is powerful, my word is true, my word is heard, and I can be grateful for the hearing because I know it is now in the works, right here, right now, to be right here, right now, perfect, whole, complete, passionate, blissful, leaping in beauty, as together we say, and so it is.